Well, we definitely received substantial evidence that he was involved in trafficking young women and children to the Virgin Islands.
Jeffrey Epstein's private island is one of the most talked about locations in modern true crime history, yet despite all the attention it has received, very few people actually understand what the island was, why it existed, and how it became such a powerful symbol of secrecy, wealth, and unanswered questions. This video is not about speculation or rumors. Instead, we are going to break down the documented history of Epstein's private island, what is publicly known about its purpose, how it was used, and why it remains one of the most controversial properties on Earth. To understand the island, we first need to understand its location. The property commonly referred to as Epstein's private island is Little St. James, a small island located in the U.S. Virgin Islands in the Caribbean. Epstein purchased Little St. James in the late 1990s. The island spans roughly 70 to 78 acres and sits just a few miles southeast of St. Thomas. At first glance, it looks like many other luxury private islands in the Caribbean, surrounded by turquoise water and isolated from the outside world. But what made this island unique was not its size or location. It was the level of privacy it offered. Little St. James had no public access, no commercial infrastructure, and no reason for outsiders to ever visit. Everything on the island was privately controlled, from the docks to the airspace above it. Epstein also later acquired a neighboring island, Great St. James, further increasing the isolation of his property. Together, these islands created a secluded environment that was nearly impossible to observe without permission. Construction on Little St. James transformed it from an undeveloped island into a highly secured private compound. Over the years, multiple structures were built, including luxury residences, guest villas, staff housing, docks, and recreational facilities. One of the most discussed structures was a large domed building near the top of the island. While its purpose was never officially confirmed, public records and contractors described it as a private office or gathering space. Despite public curiosity, no verified evidence has ever established any hidden or secret function beyond what was legally permitted. The island functioned as a private retreat, much like many luxury islands owned by wealthy individuals. Epstein hosted guests, staff, and associates there over the years, often arriving by private plane to nearby airports and then traveling by boat to the island. According to flight logs and legal records, the island was one of several properties Epstein owned, alongside homes in New York, Florida, New Mexico, and Paris. What made Little St. James different from his other properties was its total isolation. Unlike a city residence or a suburban estate, the island allowed Epstein complete control over who entered and who left. There were no neighbors, no casual visitors, and no public oversight. This level of control is extremely rare, even among billionaires, and it became a key reason the island later drew global scrutiny. As Epstein's legal troubles became public, attention quickly shifted to his properties, especially Little St. James. In court documents, testimonies, and investigations, the island was referenced as a location where activities allegedly took place. Because of this, the island became central to public curiosity, media reporting, and law enforcement interest. From a legal standpoint, investigations rely on documented evidence, witness testimony, and confirmed records, not speculation. Following Epstein's arrest in 2019 and his subsequent death, the island was seized and became part of legal and financial proceedings related to his estate. For a period of time, it remained largely untouched, frozen in place as investigations continued. Drone footage and satellite images showed abandoned buildings, overgrown paths, and empty docks, turning the island into a visual symbol of a case that left many questions unanswered. In 2023, the island was officially sold to a new owner. The buyer publicly stated plans to rebrand and redevelop the property, distancing it from its past. This marked the first real transition of Little St. James away from its association with Epstein. While the sale closed a chapter legally, it did not erase the island's place in public memory. The reason Epstein's private island continues to fascinate people is not because of confirmed secrets hidden beneath it, but because it represents the extreme end of wealth and isolation. It shows how money can create environments completely removed from public visibility. In that sense, the island has become less about one individual and more about the systems that allow such privacy to exist in the first place.